Let's take a look at how to edit illustrations from Blush inside of Figma. First, let's make sure that we have the plugin installed. From Figma, if you are logged in, simply just hit install. If you don't have an account, create a free one and come back here and install the plugin. Now let's go over to our file. I'm going to recreate an illustration that I made in the past. So from Figma, let's go to the navigation, plugins, and find Blush. Here we will see the Blush plugin open up. The great thing about this is that we can edit directly from here. So I'm going to go to Bust, and I'm going to recreate the illustration behind. Of course, let's choose SVG. I'm just going to bring it over to the side. So the first thing we see is that I can do all the editing here. So let's give her a computer. Perfect. And the eyes. Where are we? There we go. A quick tip for Figma is that you can just hit Command Space on Mac and type in Blush to access that plugin. So let's recreate this image. I'm going to move it to the side here and scale it down just a little bit. You're going to see in the Figma file I already have some pre-sorted colors, but of course you can do this with just the color selector. So first, I changed the ink to a secondary color, changed the skin, changed the shirt. One of the questions was how you can reduce the opacity. So if I hit Command click and click into the shirt, I can just go to the layer and take down the opacity. I can also do it within the color selection tool itself. So let's break this layer style, and now you'll see that I can use the toggle to change the opacity. Next, I want to remove the little logo from the computer. So the cool thing about Figma is that I can actually go into the SVG and delete out the points if I wanted to, but that's going to take some time. So a quick hack for this is I'm just going to create a rectangle, match it to the color of the computer, and then place it inside so that it always looks covered. There we go. Now that's looking good. That's what I had in the past. Now, what if I want to make edits to a different illustration or remove pieces? Here we have this beautiful illustration from Amigos. Because I dropped it in with Blush, I can just hit Edit with Blush on the bottom right, and I want to change some things. It looks like I can't remove that email, but wait, let me just get outside of the tool and open up the illustration on the panel on the left hand side. So here I can see all the pieces that make up this illustration, and I can just delete things or hide them. So let's hide the email and let's hide the image. Next, I'm gonna hit Control and drag to duplicate this cloud and make it a little bigger. Awesome. Now I want to remove the iPad, so I can just hit Option click, or I can click into all the layers. Option click makes it a little bit faster. So let's select some of these items and just delete them. So deleted the screen, and there, that looks good. So let's back out. Cool. I want to add a friend, so I'm going to hit Command Space, type in Blush, and then search for a dog. Perfect. Of course, let's change him to an SVG. Now, I want him to sit alongside with my little amigo here, and actually want him to sit behind the illustration. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take him and drop him inside of the composition, in between the legs and the background. So I find where that layer breaks, and then I go and grab our little fuzzy friend and just drag him in. Voila. Now let's just position him to where I like and play with the size a little. There, that looks good. Great. Let's say I do want to change the opacity of these trees. So what I'll do is I'll click inside into the element, and I'll go to my layer and just reduce the opacity a little bit. And let's add a second set of trees. So I'm going to hit Command D and just drag that over to the other side. If I hit Shift and H, it's actually going to flip it horizontally. And let's just bring the size down a little bit. Perfect. And just like that, we made our own custom illustration using Blush. Thanks for watching. Adios.